Yeah, we'll go. Hey, George, what about this guy? This guy. We'll call the meeting to order. I'll let George run our meeting today.
Okay.
Did everybody sign the sign-in sheet? Hopefully they have. I haven't checked mark, whatever.
My name is everybody, there's somebody volunteer to read the minutes of the last meeting.
Thank you. I think we just take a few seconds and scan over them, read them real quick. If there's any corrections or substitutions, we'll note them and move on. Take a few minutes, few seconds while attendance is being completed.
Anyone else need this to sign in?
Okay, I think everybody else is signed.
Everybody signed in.
Yeah. We have that down as well. Should we? Thank you.
Everybody read the minutes at time. Lieutenant, right to report.
Sure. Sure, so, for traffic wise, we'll start there. So we did 56 traffic stops, which resulted in 90 citations. As I told everybody before, what happens is you do 56, but we wrote 90. That means some other people got more than one coupon this time. Coupon, and I don't think anybody will ever learn. And listen, I talked to the traffic guys. It's not always the residents that are the problem.
Yeah.
You know, you have people that are coming in here throughout the day. That don't live here and they're not residents, and I think the majority of them are your violators. So it's the workmen, it's the healthcare people, it's, you know, family members, it's this, it's that. And they're gonna keep getting hit. So you know, if they're speeding, are they gonna go through the stop signs and you know, want to drive carelessly? Can I get through this first? We're gonna keep coming to do enforcement. And the guys know that this is a priority, so they're gonna be here. And you know, last month, I think we had over 200 citations.
Yeah, 216.
And then the month before that was like in the upper 100. So as you can see, in this one community, you could sit here all day and through dinner time and write tickets. You could continuously write tickets and.
We're happy to provide you with that, Stevie.
I'm sorry.
We're happy to provide you with that.
We're happy to come here and do it, but, you know, what we try to do is we try to affect the behavior, right? They see the blue lights, they see the cars, they hear people getting tickets, but is the behavior ever gonna stop? It'll never, ever stop. You know, you can do anything imaginable, but if somebody is just careless, they're gonna drive that way. I'll tell you a quick story. So yesterday, I was leaving my office. My office is at the B line in Jog. So if you take the turnpike up to the B line and get off the Jog, my office is right by there. And I had to go to an appointment. And the area when you get onto the turnpike southbound at the B line, it's a very small area to merge into the lane. The state didn't give much room for that. So on the left lane, there was traffic, and in the right lane, the guy in front of me was driving really slow. Well, that causes a safety issue because he needs to move over, but I need to move over and people behind me need to move over. Behind me was a pickup truck. So the slow guy gets in and I'm starting to merge in behind the slow guy, and the guy in the pickup truck cuts everybody off, goes into the left lane and then cuts both of us off, the slow guy and me. But you can imagine when everything in my car went flying forward because I had to slam on the brakes because I was scared that this guy was gonna run into my police car. Now, he didn't know what I was driving. You know, I didn't know my car. Needless to say, me and him had a discussion on the turnpike because I pulled his ass over. But You know, and listen, I don't look for arguments and I don't write tickets, I don't even have a ticket writer on my car. I can bring somebody over there to write the ticket for them, but I didn't. And, you know, I told him the first words out of my mouth to him, well, you know, that was a real jerk move on you. I don't know what you were thinking, and I bet you he felt this big when he saw blue and red lights in his rearview mirror. He didn't like that, but. You know, I didn't disrespect him, but I made sure he knew that what he did could have caused a heck of a crash. Not to mention they would have crashed into a police car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really somebody's real bad day. And I told him, I said, listen, just take a deep breath. If you're having a hard day, don't take it out on everybody else that's out here. So, I mean, we ended up on good terms. I didn't have a problem with the guy because he knew he wasn't getting a ticket. I didn't have a ticket right. But anyway, it's you that you don't have to worry about. It's everyone else around you that you have to worry about. You know, people are in a hurry, everybody's got an attitude, you know, and you're driving a missile. You're driving a deadly missile. And one wrong move, you can wipe out yourself and everyone else around you, just like that. And you can be the safest driver in the world. But at some point, you're collateral damage because of somebody else's action. And it's a shame because the roadways are very congested. They're very busy. We're building more and more. The infrastructure can't sustain it, right? You know, we put more apartment buildings and more houses and more people and more this, but the roadways haven't changed. So you could just imagine like our calls to service and the crashes that we go to on a lot of the main drags. It ties us up all day long, all day long. But we have to go. And we have to answer. And to go to a crash scene, even minor, you know, may take us 45 minutes to an hour. So.
I like the ones in the right hand lane, all of a sudden when I go left hand turn and go right across. Now, I always say that street doesn't go away, you have to walk a couple more blocks. And come
People do some really idiotic things with a car.
Yeah, they do.
And you look at them as you pass them, and a lot of times they don't even look at you back. They're just looking straight ahead and just oblivious of what's going on. There was 4 crashes in here, not too bad. I like to have them down to 0. On the cases, you know, I think the month prior, we really didn't have anything for fraud stuff. We had a couple of Zelle issues, and majority of you guys have used Zelle before, right? Yeah. I mean, it's a personal preference. It's just a faster way to move money. Zelle, Venmo.
Problem is, it's like taking money, boiling it up and throwing it,
Yeah.
no, but hits the right catches it.
Correct.
You have to make sure, you know, once you throw it, it's gone.
100%. And I mean, there are some stopgaps, when you put a new recipient in Zelle. It'll pull up their name and say, are you sure you want to send to that person? So
Be sure.
be sure, yeah, before you click yes. So, somebody in Wellington lost $1,978, couple of grand. About a bank account, and then someone in Wellington K, earlier in April lost $1,900. And then somebody in Waltham had, somebody used their personal information to open up a credit card. And then we talked about, Mr. Hollings. Mr. Hollings. I don't think we'll see Mr. Hollings anymore. But you know, listen, the good thing is that as soon as the information was passed off to us, street crimes got right out here. You know, it took them a little time to sit around and watch to see, and of course, you know, we're creatures that have it. So, you know, Mr. Hollings can't help himself. And you know, the street crimes guy saw him. And then he got into the back seat of the I think it was the ex-wife, car, right?
Ex-wife.
Yeah, to try to hide from us, yeah, that's a real good one, right?
Yeah, we
That really tricked us.
have video of him, he actually got in, hiding in the back seat, and he covered right there.
Yeah, didn't do much good, you can't make this up.
Oh, he got in, you know,
So we put him back in jail, I think he's still sitting there,
oh yeah, he'll sit.
because he's in there and they're violating, so we violated.
For now, yeah.
He's still there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he'll sit there for a little while and then we'll see what the judge ends up doing and you know, we'll go from there, but just know that it was because of the residents telling us and taking our picture that got us full steam ahead. You know, we can't be everywhere at every moment.
That's something else about the picture, the informant that got a hold of me. Was very concerned that the picture could be traced, so I, you know, did a little tomfoolery on my phone, took a snapshot of the snapshot I sent.
I'll be honest with you, and you know, Donald brings up something good about tracing or something like that. Listen, if you pass us the information and you wanna remain anonymous, we're not gonna trace your picture.
Right.
We're gonna go get our own evidence and build our own case and package it nicely with a big bow tie. So when we arrest the person and we have everything together, we'll present it to the state attorney's office with our own evidence, with what we witness, with what we see. So never ever worry about if you take a picture, what we're gonna use the picture to help us.
Right.
But we're not gonna use the picture against you. We won't do that. Now, if you wanna come forward and you say, you know what, I'm adamant and I wanna give a statement, and we'll be more than happy to give a statement. And ask you questions if the picture is accurate and it's authentic and so on and so forth, no problem.
And
We like building our own
this
case.
is Mark Friedman, he's from the state attorney's office, and this is a handoff from law enforcement to state attorney, and
Yep, here's, I was just double checking, you know, Holland's, next hearing is, May 23rd. It's a status check and,
Okay. So
yeah,
we'll sit there a little longer.
right, I mean, he's now. He's more serious, because he violated the original,
Yeah, the original agreement, just don't
Yeah.
come.
Yeah.
Pretty simple, huh?
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
come to, don't
So,
come to.
clearly the evidence was, it was just a great effort over there.
Yeah, I mean, we caught him in here with our own eyes, so can't have better than that.
But it wouldn't have happened, I don't think, without somebody spotting it.
100%. You know,
And,
tell your friends if you see something, get it to Donald, he gets it right to me.
Yeah,
I mean, we were on it, as soon
And
as I saw it.
if you could tell anybody this, if you wanna cut me out of the loop, you wanna cut anybody else out,
Yeah,
of the loop,
send it to
you wanna talk directly. I'll put you through to him, I'll give you his email, it's okay.
No, I'd rather give it
So,
to.
I don't want 12,000 people bothering Eric, but if it's for something, absolutely.
If it's something really good that, you know, we really need to jump on quickly, we will, and obviously, as you saw, we did it. And we needed to, because he's just not a good one.
So I mean, he's now been in jail for 2.5 weeks and at least 3 weeks longer, you know, after this.
Just,
I mean, we're not every day, how
would you like to sit down?
No, my back hurts, I stand up sometimes.
You got a chair there.
Yeah, I got a chair right here.
So they call it when you're in the county jail, a cot and 3 hots. So he gets a cot and he gets 3 hot meals, so I hope he's comfortable there.
Got him listed down for permanent residency.
I don't think you're gonna see Mr. Hollings coming back here, but if he does, and there's something really.
Residency where he's at.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that's gonna happen. He'll spend some time though.
Yeah.
So calls for service, we're at 262. But then, you know, subtract the 262 from the 56 traffic stops, because they get included in our CAD system. So you're down to about 200. It's actually, you know, for as busy as the village is right now, that's actually quite low. Yeah, we were upwards high 3s into the 4s at some point. Oh,
We
yeah.
have a little less population right now.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't seem like, it seems like it's still pretty busy in
No,
there.
no.
after
Yeah,
Easter,
but
Thanksgiving.
we have just under 8,000 units
Okay.
in here. So if 1,000 go away, you got less people, and you still got a lot of people.
Yeah. Okay, good. I like low numbers, so, you
It's
know.
more than
I think-
8,000, not like.
Well, I'm just using numbers.
Yeah, and half my dogs, more than half. They gone.
And listen, the sheriff made a nice appearance this morning. He talked about mental health and, I mean, geez, listen to the TV about what's going on, you know, active shooter here, there. Atlanta a couple of days ago, he was mentally disabled. You've had others throughout the country. It's just, it's a really hot topic right now. And you're trying to.
Social village too, there's a lot of people mental. I have to meet with just.
Listen, we try to deal with the problem before it becomes a problem. You
The
know,
problem is right now, the law the governor just signed.
No concealed weapon, you can just get.
Anybody can get a gun in.
I was just gonna ask, I was just gonna ask you that.
so. I have to admit, listen, our street crimes guys last year pulled like 145 guns off the streets. It's a lot.
So they're gonna pull a lot.
So now. You know, I don't know that number is gonna be as large, but we have to, it's gonna be growing pains for us. You know, we have to see what we can and cannot do, we'll work with the state attorney's office. And give us some legal direction. And then, you know, we're still gonna fight on it. We're still gonna do our thing out there, but obviously, you know, the law is the law and we have to abide by it. And, you know, another thing that hasn't been brought up, we're going through our body cam. Issuances right now. I have one, I don't have one on me here, but I do have one. So I wanna say about 60% of the agency's been given one. And we have a very robust policy on when they will record. Their cars have brand new recording systems. So if you have a traffic stop or you end up unfortunately in the backseat of a car, everything is recorded now. And listen, it's the technology at the times where we were a little behind in that time. You know, a lot of other agencies did it, but the big picture is that for the sheriff's office as large as we are, I want to say it was like 80 million.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not for the devices, it's not for the body cams, and it's not for the car, it's for the storage. No, it's not the equipment, it's the storage of the video.
Imagine the size of the server you have to.
So we go to, so it's a cloud service through Axon, who makes our tasers.
Right.
That's where the money's going. It's because when you're recording, it's not for a couple of minutes. I could be on the call for, you know, a crash with somebody, a minor crash, that there's really no problem. I could be there for an hour. You have to record that for the hour. So now imagine that times 1,800 deputies and supervisors, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. That's where the money went.
And the security of storing those recordings, which was not the same as using, you know, people drive to store stuff.
It's not, we don't,
Creative evidence or whatever.
and that's another thing is, you know, our record production unit, because now it becomes public record, right? Somebody wants a copy of the video. So now we have civilian staff that has to go watch that video, and let's say 3 of us are on a call and we're all recording. And he has an hour and you have an hour and I have an hour, before they give that public record up, they have to watch all 3 hours of that video before they release it. Because some parts of it may have to be redacted.
Right.
So when you think, you know, somebody gets public record, just fire it off, not so easy. So we have to up our staffing for all the public records requests on all the videos now. It's a big undertaking, but listen, it's needed. I'm not upset having it. I spent 11 years in the Division of Internal Affairs, you know, doing investigations on employees. And I will say that video will save us more than hurt us, because now I don't have to defend myself to my supervisor. I'm just gonna tell him, watch the video. Watch the video. Everything I say, everything I've done is right there for you. And if there's other coworkers, they're recording too. So watch it at 4 different angles. So it actually protects before it hurts. So, hang on one second. Sir, you had a question? Yes.
On the stop signs here in the village, for instance, people will come up, they look, they see already the intersection, but they slow down almost to 0, but it kicks on 10 inches an hour.
Yeah.
They're gonna take it on this.
Absolutely. You cannot just slide through a stop sign. The law is you need to come to a complete stop.
I can tell you what the cop told
And then
me
you
when
go.
I got pulled over, I got a ticket recently. He said, when you stop at the stop sign, you have to feel the car.
Ah, the guy.
Stop.
I
He
know
said,
what
if
you're
your
talking
head
about.
doesn't jerk back, you have not stopped.
Complete stop.
Count to 3,000.
You know, listen, if you, so the argument always is with people is that, well, I stopped at that stop sign. I'm telling you, I stopped. And you know, we don't argue with anybody, just plead not guilty and take it to court and let a magistrate or a judge decide at the end. But now everything's videotaped. So our videos, when we turn the blue lights on the police cars, it backs up 30 seconds. Well, 30 seconds before I turn my lights on, most likely captured what? Your violation. You see what I'm saying? So all our recordings back up 30 seconds. So if I turn it on now, it actually starts 30 seconds before I turned it on. So a lot of times it picks up
Like
the
a little
violation.
time machine.
Yeah, man.
And I happen to get a couple of tickets myself. And, okay, and, yeah, two, I got 2 tickets. 2 on-call for tickets I made it. But anyways, in my mind, I kept thinking, I know I stopped. But the way I drive, I stopped. There was a bus, he was stopped waiting for me. He turns in front of me, and then I continued. The officer pulled me over and said I went to the stop sign. I know better. I didn't argue with him. I was just kind of surprised and thinking I had 2 people in my car. I know.
So if I'm understanding you right, if there's a car in front of you at a stop sign.
No, there was no car in front of me.
Or a
The
bus.
bus was turning. I
Oh,
said,
okay, I got you.
he was stopped,
I got you.
waiting for me to stop. I
Oh.
stopped.
Okay.
But I went over it in my mind too. I also know that my car is a winter car. And at the minute I take my foot off the brake, it idles, because that's how New York cars are. Anyways, that's beside the point, because I know I stopped, but like you said,
You
I'm not gonna argue with the
No,
officer.
but plead not guilty, you never know, the magistrate
Well,
may take your
I didn't-
side.
That's another thing. I didn't get a ticket for going through the stop sign. I got a professional courtesy, but from what I understand, I didn't even get a Century Village courtesy, because
Okay.
I understand you get a warning usually. I didn't even get
It's up
that.
to the discretion of the
Discretion of the
deputy.
officer.
I
There's
asked the
there's
officer,
no professional
Eh,
courtesy.
no, well,
That went out the door in the 70s.
well, I thought maybe you said, like you said, a lot of, you're not here to get the tickets,
I personally don't write tickets, but my traffic guys do traffic all day.
I get it, but let's write tickets for people that are speeding. Now, that's my other
Well,
question.
I
How many
mean-
tickets?
We can go back and forth about that,
Okay.
that's
but-
not a.
Okay,
that's
we
not-
won't go, I'm going on facts.
Okay.
Okay, the fact is, how many tickets, out of those tickets, you give us stats, but you don't give us the
I
real
don't have,
stats.
I don't have the breakdowns of how many red lights and speeding, I don't.
Or not red lights, it's stop signs, or
Yep.
speeding,
I
you have
don't-
no
I don't
idea
have-
what that is.
No, I don't have a breakdown of that. That's
Okay.
actually a big undertaking. And that takes an analyst and somebody to put that together. It takes a lot of time for that.
Okay, well,
Because,
from my experience of getting 2 tickets
okay,
for something that wasn't even asked for, a license, no. No, he didn't ask me for my insurance card or my
Okay.
registration.
okay,
He just gave me the 2 tickets and told me where to pay them.
okay.
My
You don't
point
have
is,
to pay them, you can go to court, you can go to driving school.
no, it's $10. It was I had my
It's
insurance
done
card.
pretty easy then.
Listen, I had my insurance card and I had my registration. Are you listening to me? He didn't ask for it. He just wrote the tickets.
You just told me you got a $10 ticket, so he did you right? Did you just tell me a few minutes ago that,
Well, I'm not worried about doing me right. It's the community.
ma'am, I'm not here to go back and forth with you about this.
Well, do you think that's really helping? Just writing those tickets that are not
Ma'am,
necessary?
listen, I'm gonna cut this short real quick in about a second here. So here's what I'm gonna tell you, and then I'm gonna conclude this, because we need to move on. We have a whole meeting going here. The village has asked for traffic enforcement. I, as the boss, send my traffic cars in here. If they see a violation, they have the discretion to either give you a warning, whether verbal or written, or write you a citation. And if they write you a citation and there's more than one violation, then they have the right to write you more. But you as a citizen have the right to contest that citation. Hold on, I'm just telling you, there's 3 options that you could take it, and that's it. You know, as far as the residents getting tickets, if they violate something, my guys see it with their eyes, they're gonna get a ticket, or they're gonna get a warning, that's it.
Okay, I'm not here to talk about my ticket or anything. I was
I'm
using it
talking
as an
about
example.
I'm talking about the village.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so you're not listening to me when I say the village wants us to come in here and do it. We're not stopping it, we're gonna continue doing it. We wrote over 200 tickets last month. It may be another 200 tickets for next time you see me. I don't know. But I'm just telling you, the village has requested it. That is the #1 request. from the board, from the citizens, and it comes up over and over and over again that they want us in here doing traffic enforcement. So you know what we're gonna be doing? Traffic enforcement. That's it. Hold
Do you think, my opinion and my professional opinion is, we still have people speeding, we still have people.
George?
They're stopping real good at the stop sign, the one stop sign.
Okay, I think we beat this up enough.
My point is, I don't think it's working as well as you think it's working.
It is what.
I'd say it is working.
At that one stop.
If you're gonna sit here and criticize us for doing our job, then
I'm
I'm
not
not happy.
criticizing, let's,
Okay, let's move on from this. This lady over here would like a question. That's
Thing that Sheriff Bradshaw will be writing an article about what he spoke about this morning.
So I don't know that the sheriff himself will, but he does have people that do talk about mental health. He has a mental health unit. And I will make a note and get with that supervisor and see if there's an article that they can put
Yes.
within your.
Get it to me, I'll be glad to.
Yeah, I'll get it to Donald and George and then they'll funnel it out to you.
Thank you.
I'd like to next. Platinum. So Daniel, Daniel and James and for Mark.
Mark, did you have something?
I do, thank you, I apologize, I just wanted to say that the other gentleman, Bruce Hicks, who was, arrested on the criminal initiative for being, for busting up the gate. And also, unfortunately being just very hostile and just flat out, just horrendous the way he treated the security guard. His case is, also pending case, hearing next is May 23rd. So, it remains to be seen, you know, how the judge, we're gonna go forward and recommend as much as we can, you know, with that case, but.
Tell him what he has to do.
What's that?
So I'm gonna tell him the list, cause I love the list, I have it in my head. Alright,
Get going.
he's gonna be offered an agreement. He's gonna have 2 years probation. He's going to have to get alcohol counseling, anger management. An anger management class, a racial sensitivity course. And he's going to have to issue a personal written apology to the guard who he disrespected.
Yeah,
And leave anything else?
probably, I mean, just for costs.
Court costs and.
You know,
But he is gonna be, it's a felony, and they're gonna
Right.
withhold adjudication for the felony for what, 2 years?
Well, I think, I mean, you know, it's a question of he's gotta comply with these terms, and if he doesn't, then you get in more trouble. But, you know, it's probably a fair sentence, I mean, you know, if they take it, and, you know, a lot of times people think, and they're not part of it, it's like, oh, he faces it's a felony, 3rd degree, okay, so just put him in prison for 5 years, it's just not the way the system works, he may not have prior things, he scores recommended state guidelines, so we try to work out terms that satisfy where, you know, he pays best prison, or he does something where he's making amends.
And the behavior stops.
Right, exactly, so somebody, you know, he thought he was being cute that day, and now he's gonna learn his lesson.
They keep everybody being cute.
And this feeds off to some extent to what Eric just said, basically. There are a lot of crazies out there lately, and I don't know, if it's the internet waking them up or the economy, but they're just doing
Yeah,
the crazy, saying and doing the craziest things, we have to be careful.
Yeah.
Everyone's in coming here that you got creative.
No, I don't know, the hostility, the verbal hostility, the verbal use that. You really see other people.
I mean, it doesn't rise to the level of a crime.
Right.
Until they actually do something to initiate contact with you. So if they just call you names and curse at you,
Well,
there's
that's
not a whole lot we can do, other than if they have some sort of mental condition, we can evaluate them at the scene. And see if they're candidates for a Baker Act, other than that.
I'm just saying, there's a lot more of it over the
Oh,
years.
yes. Oh, yes, there is, for sure.
This is why every Saturday night, when my father took us out to dinner and we kept those gates, he said, the safe. And so we worked. He always felt better when he got this.
Anyway,
Daniel,
About that.
what, James, what's cooking?
Our rovers responded to 149 incidents, gates confiscated 12 expired passes, and everything else is in the report. It was a slow month for us.
Any particular problems with any particular person?
Aside from the two mentioned and the usual challenges. Business as usual.
We have a new,
A new
individual for the, I haven't met you yet, so.
Nice to meet you all. I'm Steve's replacement, so I'll be here going forward. It's nice to meet you.
What's your name?
Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Worry about the name, but Lawrence, yeah. So I'm doing it. But, it's low down, like you said, we've had less traffic stops with all the snowboarders going up. I would say the biggest problem that we had is kind of what you were discussing earlier. When we had George Sakar enter a pool with colostomy bags, he was suspended, obviously, and we've had to remove him a couple of times since. We just did that again yesterday as another effect, but that would be the biggest thing we've had to deal with. He's been suspended for 30 days, so we'll go from there. But other than that, it's been a slight downtick in all the stuff is going back home. So hopefully we'll be able to focus on some of the small things and just get everything in that.
Lawrence, congratulations on your appointment.
Everybody's.
Best of luck.
I've had the pleasure to, Steve, I've been with him for a while. He taught me well. I've had the pleasure to meet most of y'all, but please feel free to stop by and say anything. And just if there's anything you see that we can do better or that you think I can improve on, please just don't hesitate to let me know. But thank you all so much.
Thank you. We had a meeting with the Sheriff Advisory Board, last Wednesday. And, they were talking about traffic calming coming in. Yeah, I live in Wellington K, which is the first building on the right scene to come in. Soon as those gates come up, it's like Andy Grant and telling you, it's ready to come through.
Yeah.
I think I guess you call it a berm in between the,
A raised median with shrubbery.
no,
You talking about
Yeah,
traffic calms.
And they have a.
Are you talking about traffic calming devices
And it
like
goes where the
speed?
mailboxes and bushes.
it was suggested about putting in, humps, and I said, we tried that, it didn't work. Guys told me, that, they try to see what happens. Now, they mentioned putting a circle on somebody who called it, traffic calming device. Coming in, because I get on the catwalk every once in a while and I watch, and I'm surprised there aren't any more accidents that went through the town. I'd like your own opinion on that.
George, any addition of traffic calming devices would need to be governed by an annual uniform traffic control devices. And two, would need a civil engineering study for liability reasons. A little bit of research I've done, speaking offline with a civil engineer, is that studies have shown that in small places like Century Village, the addition of speed bumps, speed tables actually increases the mean speed because they slow down for the device and they feel like they gotta make up time and they jam on the gas. If this was to be implemented here at Century Village, the first step would be a civil engineering study, and that would have to be approved, of course, by the delegates and by the executive board and officers, because it would be a substantial bill.
Are you talking about the dumpsters?
Talking about, there are two traffic calming devices, the most common is speed bumps. That's out. Well, let me finish, but that's out, it's not gonna happen. Another alternative is what's called speed tables, which basically looks like a mesa. You have a
Yeah.
and then you have a deck. They're often put in neighborhoods to slow down people using these neighborhoods.
So
They're-
20 years ago, we already talked about this thing in the village, the ambulances ejected.
That's absolutely a concern, right? If you
Yeah.
blew your back out or you were trying to get an IV in an ambulance and you're bouncing over speed. You know, we are
The
a
ambulance,
senior community, that's something to be kept, to be taken advantage of.
Done. Brought up that, as I mentioned. About the ambulances coming through, the fire trucks coming through the place. And, some way of getting through it. And they asked me to bring it up at the meeting here today. So I'd like you all to think about it. And see what can come through. I mean, it's unbelievable the way they come through there. They're out.
Right around the corner here, in Wellington Hill. We have a little patio there. I sit out there, and just before the patio is a speed bump. Yeah, it's a speed bump. Right.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody slows up for it.
Go over like evil and evil.
Boom, boom. I sit out there and watch them. So putting more speed bumps. I mean, I don't know what we can do, but putting more speed bumps, I don't think will do anything for the village.
Get them in the pocket, tickets.
Hmm?
Tickets.
Take it, yeah,
We'll hurt the most.
I did get a,
but,
I did get a call that the radar gun was in use this week.
The traffic guys were using.
Oh, really?
Okay. Speed tickets.
Good.
See that?
How about the signs that tell you how fast you're going or previous people?
We can get that sometime.
Once in a while they do that.
We have some speed trailers that we do have, but as much as we would love to leave them here for an extended amount of time. We have other requests throughout the county.
The last
We don't have a lot to go around.
The last time we had him in, they put him right in front of Stu Richland's apartment, he sat on his balcony, he said, they would look at the sign and go fast, go fast.
then check my speedometer.
Who's next, Dan?
COP,
The difference between the red and the warnings, what is the difference between a ticket and a warning, and when do you?
When you pay and when you pay and when you don't, and it's our discretion. If you get a warning, it's just that, don't do it again.
No, sir, I know.
When you get a ticket,
You get one.
when do you get what? It's up to the deputy.
I don't know the answer.
It's all discretionary.
So do you know where the accident?
Alan, I think you're up for the COP report.
Right.
doing pretty good with the CLPs, getting additional people. I just qualified another person yesterday. Last month, we had a very good month, we had over 800 hours in the car. Which is about the most we've had in a long time. We have people that are out there driving that wanna be there. They're not only taking their one shift, they're taking additional shifts. So, I mean, it's looking good for the village. So, other than that, the only thing I find a lot of times is people getting lost in the village. So, we have a map in the car. Other than that, everything else was pretty quiet.
I'd like to throw, Maureen, just one second.
Okay.
I'd like to throw out. I'll get Maureen and then you'll be next. Alright?
Oh, yeah.
It's gotta be a way to slow these people down. The attendance guys do a terrific job. I had yesterday. I don't know whether it was a guy or a gal. But I was on my catwalk and he had his irons, he's driving a Ford Explorer, had the sirens on, had the windows flashing lights. Out the gate into. Made the left into Wells Fargo, this person just wouldn't stop. And all the way around until he finally stopped me. The other thing is, it was brought up, if you see something, say something. I started that program a little over a year ago. I promise you, and find something, please don't be afraid of retaliation. Your name will not be mentioned. And we had a nice turnout this morning, and you have to excuse me, I've got a little problem. But anything that's needed, we need to find out what it is, where we're gonna go with it. This guy and his men have done a fantastic job. That's true. And I spoke with the sheriff personally this morning. And sheriff gave this guy a pat on the back. Was everybody at the meeting this morning?
Yeah.
So you heard the sheriff speak?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, Dennis, hold on. Maureen was next, and then the young lady over there.
Louise.
I just want to compliment the Philippines and everybody else who drive around on the back roads, because I see you driving by my place a lot, and I'm sorry, my Italian. And I just want to say thank you, because I feel safer where I am, knowing that someone is driving around all the time. Oh, but you guys drive around too.
Well, we consider COP to be an additional rover, it's nothing but good.
No, I know, exactly, but it's nice to know that they're coming down.
Sure is.
And I'm on the back way, where it's dark sometimes, and it's nice to know that there's people around.
And
She was, you're next.
No, I just wanted to add what Captain said. Since I start my patrolling here, I'm very happy to help. And I pay a lot of attention on the speed of the people. When they see me on the sheriff car, they slow down, right? But when I'm driving as a normal citizen, I see that most of the people, even a senior couple, they just even when I enter on the hill, what is it, Harvard Hill? I had the right to go first, and there was a couple that has to wait. But no, he didn't even look at me, and he just went. And I had to stop in the middle. So every time when I'm looking who is the driver is most of their senior people. Because I notice it when I put on my car, I have a CRV RAV4 Toyota. And I put Echo. Echo means that when I'm here inside 15-25 miles, it goes slow. I cannot go more than 25. So I put it on 25, and then there was a senior coming behind me, and he was not beep, pushing me to go faster.
You go slower.
But
It's what I.
no,
Question for
Sure,
you.
sure.
When Kent was the company here, we talked about security cameras. And I think it's very, very important. I know outside how they help about stop signs when you have a camera watching.
Then we've got so many cameras up that I've forgotten where they all are. Dan kind of knows where they are.
Here in the village.
Yeah, like most sorts of methods, we don't tell you where they are.
Okay.
But
that's
well,
Okay, the hidden cameras.
the most common camera that we use is called the trail cam. And it's something I used to use when I was younger for hunting, and for instance, the new gate that we put up on Mount Everhill, every inch of that is camera, and that footage is reviewed every week. Right this minute, I just got a call when I went outside. I happened to notice that there was a car parking every night along the swale of Haverhill Road, right?
Yes, I know
So
that, yes.
I reported it to the police. And don't you know, just now, with somebody who went to the delegate assembly, pulled me up and said, you said, say something, if I see something, I said, yeah, what, where do you live? Norwood Joe, what do you call about that car, and I said, we got it, we see, we got
I'm
it.
talking about the one that you see that will help to stop.
And the other thing is, I probably know about our flock system, which we put in recently, I wish Joanne was here to tell you how effective this is, how good enforcement is actually going into our community, finding people and getting them out of here.
As long as it's in the picture, that's good.
What was that? How are you?
This is, I was just, that mentioned that, at both entrances, I was wondering if the officer knows where the accidents occur, because at the both entrances, I've almost had accidents because they don't have stop sign.
I can tell you where the.
Two lanes of stop sign, and there's another one at Abbott Hill.
I can tell you where the four occurred. One occurred on April the 3rd at Coventry Gate. One occurred on West Drive on 411. One occurred on Century Village, Century Boulevard on 422. It says four, but oh, here's the fourth one is West Bath Street on 45. That's
Okay,
the
good.
fourth.
Both entrances with the stop signs, there's two stop signs, and then there's one, and the one over here, because I will turn in. There's always seems like there's accidents, I've seen accidents there.
The last one, those were the four.
Okay.
Also, again, if you see something, say something. Your name will be confidential, nobody's gonna know. George. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you.
Just very quickly, almost as bad as the speed limit situation. I'm up early in the morning coming here to work. And you have a lot of people that are either running late to get to where they need to be, but they pass. Even if they're doing 25, 27, 28 miles an hour, they pass, which in and of itself could be a problem. But more importantly, I'm watching and I notice that they're doing this with another car coming in the other direction with insufficient room.
Yep.
To be certain to be able to get back into their lane. And this community is mostly elderly people, our reflexes are slow, okay? And I can only imagine that if somebody turned their head away for a second and then looked forward and saw a car heading towards them on their side of the road, that would panic. Are we in the village allowed to pass?
Not if it's a double yellow, and I don't think you have. There's no fact. I thought it would be best to answer that. I would think that since you only have one lane going in each direction, it's a double yellow.
Single yellow. Yeah. On the subject of scraping, as you know, last year we re-striped and we did all the stop bars along our primary roads. This year, probably this month, you're gonna see a project they've been working on for some time to do the striping on the secondary roads. Repaint the stop bars, and most importantly, get the existing stop signs that were in some cases ad hoc stop signs put up by anybody up to DOT standards. So that'll be, for instance, you live on Falkirk Street, that's part of the project. The single yellow line goes down and any stop bar that intersects that road is gonna be repainted. And we're gonna redo the stop sign. Next year, we'll do whatever we didn't do on the first two phases. This is just something over the years, over the time, that the striping just faded away.
I see it more on the main.
Well, that's because a year ago, actually a year and a half ago, we repainted all those. That was phase one of the project. Phase two of the project is coming up now. That will be the secondary roads. Next year will be everything else, the tertiary road. You happen to live on a secondary road. Falkirk
Yeah,
Street.
but I see this passing because it happened to me, it's on the main road.
Now, look, the line is only as good as the people who respect it, right? But it'll help that, right? Just to make it understood that this is a two-way street, and you stay on your side, or I stay on my side.
Never been on the
They're probably gonna be. Yep, because somebody's gonna do something careless. or within bad judgment or decision making. Yeah.
You know,
It's better
just to meet them at this.
It's actually been a long time since we've had to pull a car out of somebody's living room. But of course, this week, one of our residents, didn't drive to her own living room. She drove into the bagel shop, where I eat my breakfast every morning. Like straight into the, some of us need to get to the point where we don't drive anymore.
What did happen?
So on drive through.
Yeah, but she made the bagel store to drive.
When that.
The other
2 days ago.
Really?
Maybe we have a question over here.
Okay.
I have a question for the chair.
Go ahead.
Is it possible that you can put an empty police car in here? I know when I go down Palm Beach, and it's all, come down that hill in Palm Beach, you see that, I see when you slow it down.
So what happens is, when we put it out here, well, we don't have done this, I mean, we have done this, but we don't have it done yet. But on your note is, people get used to the decoy car being there.
Yeah.
And they know it doesn't move, and then you see the weeds coming up on the side of it. And then at some
You
point,
can't move it and,
you can, we can, so, but yeah, I'll look at putting a I don't mind putting a decoy car in there for a little while.
On that,
I
I do it once in a while, and some of the other COPs. We'll do some paperwork. Particularly by the four corners, over here by Berkshire. They'll pull into the side road. They used to be on the grass, but they didn't want us on the grass. They pull into the side road and sit there and do their paperwork. So they're there for maybe 15 minutes or so. And it does slow down traffic by a stop sign.
We have any old business? Or anything somebody would like to bring up? Don?
Dan had something that he wanted to mention about.
Yeah, this is
the old business.
yeah. The platinum. But the letter I gave you.
Okay, I'll give it down.
Some of it is just, in my mind, technical. On the contract that we have here, it mentioned the place of this one as this address only. They don't mention the square mile that we have 309 associations. So I ask here to put that the place that you do business with is not 2102 West Drive, but this place and the square mile of Century Village. This is just an addition, and it's also affect the insurance too. Second, I'm not gonna go too much on this thing, but this is already a debate. What are the securities supposed to do? There's a big misunderstanding what the officers supposed to do. Many times, they ask them to do on disputes or things that are not in the contract. And this is something that has been going on for us. Call security, escort him out, things like this, which happened to me one time when many years ago, 100 years ago, somebody tried to stop me. And by the way, only this morning, a woman comes to me and she remembers something that happened 17 years ago when security was down at the synagogue and somebody from the stage tried to stop me, call security. And they didn't know that they can do nothing. So they stood here and they stood there facing this, but not even looking at me. So this is something that they don't know, the security officers, okay?
Dan, I'm gonna respond to your comments. On the duties of our security guards, or security officers. These are very clearly delineated in their post orders, the RFP and the contract. This committee, over time has altered and carefully crafted those post orders. And there's no question what these security officers' jobs are: access control, observe and report. Now, as far as the unit owners and other residents who think that there's some kind of auxiliary police force, well, they find out when what they should be doing is calling 911. On your comments that were submitted to this committee and to me on the 11th of, I'm sorry, 2nd.
Yeah, this is when I send you the emails and the consent report.
As I explained to in previous meetings, these comments were submitted to our security, to our lawyer and our insurance professional, and no action was taken on any of those. So we're gonna trust the professionals.
So as long as it's in the records, it's okay, it's for posterity of this thing. Now, the insurance thing that you do, when you do things
Your
in the contract, they put
your
down
insurance questions were carefully considered by our insurance professional and by our legal.
And what was the answer?
No action was taken on any.
Okay, no action was taken.
That's the answer.
And the last one, I think you gave an answer last time that I brought it up, that you trained them, whatever.
Ms. Bledsoe, I'm gonna ask that you not directly.
No, this is something with the.
Bledsoe, I'm gonna ask that you not directly speak to your own, you are an employee of the firm, you're a contract employee for Platinum.
Yeah.
It's inappropriate for you to talk to your management right here. It's just not.
No, I just.
It's really not the place for this conversation, and so I'm gonna ask.
No, it was mentioned, yeah, it was mentioned today that you can go direct, so I get direct, this morning it was mentioned. I gave it to him directly, he can call me.
All right,
Anybody
what's next?
else have anything you'd like to bring up? No. Did I cover everything? Yeah, I covered
Glad to
everything.
see you back, George.
George, there's someone back
John
here.
asked me to-
You look somewhat.
We got,
You got.
I just want to say we had Steve's retirement dinner on lunch
yeah?
on Friday, it was nice, so I took pictures, some of the old guards came back and everything was good.
Off it goes to North Carolina.
It's Kentucky, yeah,
Good for you.
well, after he sells, so it might be a while, so who knows. I told Steve that I want a photo of us escorting him out of the clubhouse. Wearing his best, ripped shorts and shirt, and, for the last time, looking like he's completely at the show.
That's. Call for adjournment.
Anything else? So once, twice. Go to the order.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Maureen.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers.
Thank you.
You too, Louisa.
Next week.